Hey, it's Sean Reddy, Keller Williams Reddy Group, here to take a look at what's driving the market, the weekly Denver Metro market stats. These are next level stats, almost predictive analytics, as brought to us by our friends at First American Title. Let's dive right into it. So, each week, the first thing that we look at are the odds of selling. So, if you're a seller or a potential future seller in this market, whether that's now, 3 months from now, even a year from now, pay attention to this stuff because this can help essentially pinpoint when the best time to be on market might be. So, odds of selling is a measure, essentially, to sum it up, it's supply and demand. It's the equilibrium between. And when the odds of selling are high, obviously, it's better to be a seller. We peaked out the first week of March at about 2/3 chance of selling. That was actually the highest since June of 2022. It's been kind of on the steady decline, except for last week. Dropped back down to 63.8. That is the lowest measure since the last week of February, although it's not a huge shift. And it was a holiday weekend last week, so that's going to play into a lot of these numbers here. The average daily listing count went up. So when you see numbers in the greens and blues, that's not great if you're a seller. When you see numbers in oranges and reds, that means hotter if you are a seller. So more competition on average last week, 3,800 plus listings. Less listings hit the market though. It's just less of them went under contract, which we'll get into. We're going to skip over back on market and expired and withdrawn. I've got to move my face here. And let's look at the pendings. 978 homes went under contract last week. That is the lowest number since third week of February. So you can see we've been well over 1,000, almost to 1,100 second week of March, down to 978 last week. Again, I'm not seeing this, probably not going to see this as a trend because we had a holiday weekend with Easter. Way less units closed last week than the previous week, yet it's kind of on par with where we've been at for pretty much all of February and March. Predictive MSI stands for months supply of inventory. This is the first increase in months supply of inventory. Let's see, since, well, the start of the year, really. We've been hovering around 0.8 months supply. That jumped nominally to 0.9 months. Active units for balance and percent of balance we're going to skip over, as well as days of equilibrium or days till equilibrium. We can discuss that offline if you do have questions on those numbers. Total showings. These are the showings that were booked on listings active in the Denver metro market. You can see it jumped up a little bit from the previous week. The previous week was, in fact, one of the lowest, close to the lowest weeks since the start of the year. So we did jump back into second week of January territory with 12,000 book showings. That rounds out to 3.2 showings per listing. We did kind of peak out at 4.1 just about 6 weeks ago. And you can see that's dropped pretty significantly with more listings on the market, maybe less buyers in the market. We'll see how these trend out to be. Number of showings to get to contract went up a little bit from 11.2 to 12.6. So on average, it's taking a listing 12.6 showings to get under contract. Median days on market jumped up by a day. We've been at the 7-8 mark for a while, 9-7-8 mark for a while. Dropped to 6 last week, jumped back up to 7. 25% of listings decreased, 2.4% of listings increased their price, and 72.5% remained exactly where they're priced. The average price reduction last week was about 30,000, almost 31,000, representative of 4.3% of the purchase price. Again, this is a week-by-week look at the entire Denver metro market. If you are more interested in what your particular market looks like, because there are hot markets, there are cold markets, and everything in between, just here in the metro market, let us know. We'd love to geek out over this stuff. And if you are a fan of these numbers and watching them, make sure you click that like and subscribe button so that you can have this content spoon-fed to you in your feed. Sean Reddy, Keller Williams Reddy Group, and we'll see you next week.